Hi, gorgeous. You can manifest the things that you desire using something that you need, anyways. That's right downstairs in your refrigerator, in your cabinets, and it's food. Food is your energy source. So you can use food as a currency exchange for the things that you desire. And there's very specific ways to do this, but it's very beautiful that food, the things that you eat and put into your body or abstain from eating, can actually dissolve the bridge between you and the self that you want to be, or whatever trait that you would like to have. It will close that gap. Yesterday, I was watching one of my old videos and I was talking about a food tip, which was shopping at the farmer's market and shopping organic. And it brought me back in time because as I was looking at myself, this video was from about 2 years ago. I had cystic pimples on my face. And at this time, my skin was already healing. You can look at this video. I will link it in the description for you to look at so you can see that I had cystic acne. And at this time, I stopped using all medication. I was using food to heal my skin and my faith that the Lord would heal my skin, period. Food and faith will get you to anywhere that you would like to go. So one of those things that I knew I had to do was show up and face myself, show up on camera, because that's who the person that I was attempting to become, that I was becoming, would do. She doesn't have acne, so she's gonna go on camera and make a YouTube video. So I want y'all to actually go and watch that video after this so you can see how my skin has changed. And it has changed without facials. I haven't gotten a facial in probably close to 3 years now. Have not gotten a facial. I have not used any acne medication, whether over the counter, whether you could get it at the corner store, grocery store, whatever. I haven't used any chemicals on my skin. No chemical peels, nothing like that. And literally last night, a guy told me that my skin was glowing. He asked me, "What do you do?" A question that I honestly dread sometimes, because as a creative who's creating and going with life, that question just feels so Matrix, if you know what I mean. Like, you're meeting someone, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like, I be sexy, I be beautiful. But I told him that I have a aromatherapy and holistic body care brand, because that's what I typically tell people, but I do a lot of things, right? And so his response was, "Oh, I can tell your skin is glowing." Thank you. I appreciate that. And when I was in the state of the video that I'm referring to from about 2 years ago with the food tip, it was a dream to have people tell me that. And I get that often. And this is exactly how I used food to close that gap between the version of me who had acne and the version of me who didn't. I just wanted to get there, right? I wanted to just hop and stop having acne. So around this time, I started working at the farmer's market. And actually, this was after I stopped working at the farmer's market. This was at the time when I decided that I'm just going to shop at the farmer's market, because I could have went back and worked at the farmer's market I was working at, but that wasn't who I was becoming. I was becoming a self-sustaining individual. Now, I love working at the farmer's market, but I was becoming someone who uses their creativity to produce things that people desire and therefore would pay for. So that did not include working at the farmer's market. I had to be very intentional about the things that I was doing. And there came a moment where I was sick of my life. Sick of my life. I was just scared of outcomes that I didn't want to come true, that came true anyways. And I truly believe that because my thoughts festered so much on this topic, it actually happened. And what I decided to do was go on a fast, a 7-day fast. I did some days water fasting, and then I finished off with just fruits, mainly watermelon and melons. And the thing about fasting that is going to get you to close that gap between who you are and who you desire to be is that it gets you super spiritually in tune. It allows your body to get rid of any waste that is actually holding you back and holding you down, and it's a huge reset. I actually recorded myself every single day of that fast that I did. Every single day I was water fasting, fruit fasting. I recorded it, and I had packaged it together to be sort of a course type of thing, but I never really put it out and sold it because, like, I had it up for a little while and I took it down because I was so vulnerable. And when I look back at these videos, I can see how I transformed. I was using food and my faith. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is meaningless. And I was writing down my fears. I was writing down what would the best outcome be, and actually, if this worst thing happened, how could I change that? And I could feel these things lifting out of my body because there was no food inside of me, actual physical food, to have my body operating and doing something else. I just decided that I'm gonna lift these things off of me. I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna get these things out of me. All these emotions started coming up. This was the first intense fast that I did. And the really important thing, right, because we're talking about how food can close the gap. Fasting is really non-food. It's no food. You really do need both. And the most important aspect of a fast is what you do to refeed after. People skip this part so bad. People skip this part, and it is imperative that you take the time after you have emptied your body, after you've released so many emotions, after you have felt a stronger connection to God and allowed yourselves to repair themselves. You have to give them the right food, or else you are like, it's like doing a pretty paint job and then not allowing the paint to dry. You need to let that paint dry. So that means don't go and put your hands on it and start dirtying it up. Don't go and feed yourself nasty. I'm not even going to say nasty. I'm going to say things that are harder for your body to digest, that might be dehydrating, that might be fatty or unhealthy after a fast. That is not what your body needs after. So after I did this fast, I refed myself with very intentional foods, and I used raw foods and vegan foods. I don't believe that you have to have a certain diet or a way of eating to live a long life, to be healthy and to be happy. I believe that after a fast, though, like if you're really trying to transform, if you're trying to use food to get to your next level after a fast, the fasting part is for the faith, right? The fasting part is what's going to get you the faith. What you feed yourself after is going to be like the seal on top. It's allowing that paint to dry, let it be finished, and let it be set in stone. You have to be eating foods that are hydrating, that are fruits. Mainly, you want to start with some fruits. And this is because what fruits do after a fast is they allow your body to basically get rid of that waste. All right, you're going to be going to the bathroom if you eat fruit, and that's exactly what you need to do, because your cells are getting rid of a lot of mucus that are inside of them, a lot of acids that are inside of them, and so it's all kind of collecting in your colon, and you need to get that out. So if you start eating things like boiled eggs and meats and starches right after a fast, you're making your body work harder than it needs to. The main job that it needs to do is get rid of the waste. So after I did this fast, I ate raw vegan life foods. And I actually have a video of what I ate after that. I'll link that too. It's just all part of a journey that led me to actually clearing my skin completely. After I allowed myself to feel deeply to fast, I used food to solidify it, and there were immediate results. When I was refeeding myself, there were immediate results. I'm talking about my skin after had a huge decrease in the amount of acne that was on it. And the food is that currency exchange. The food is that energy that I was able to give myself and feed myself. And it's right there. It's a tool that we overlook, and a lot of people use it to get where they need to go. It's just not typically explained in this way. For example, you want to have a certain percentage of body fat, you want to lose weight, you can easily do that with your nutrition. That's something that is probably more familiar to you, familiar sounding. I'm going to count my calories, I'm going to count my macros, protein. All that is using food to close the gap to where you desire to go, right? All that is dissolving the bridge between the version of you who might be overweight and the version of you who's actually fit. Food is the vehicle. We need to really start seeing that and seeing how we are really spiritual beings and we are material beings. What happens in our bodies is the food turns into energy. When the food breaks down, like that, when you think about things really deeply like that, on a quantum level, it feels almost surreal. It feels so abstract. Like, how does food turn into energy? How does pancakes turn into actual energy? And there's science that we learn about it. There's science about how it breaks down, right? You eat a pancake, your body breaks it down into different things. The enzymes dissolve it. The acid dissolves it. The sugars turn into the energy source for the cell, for your cells. What is it called? Mitochondria turns into ATP. Like the sugars turn into ATP for your mitochondria. It's crazy. We can't see it, but it's happening, right? When you're an athlete, I'm going to use this example. Beyonce, if she wants to have a great show, she follows a specific diet to dissolve the bridge between the version of her who would mess up that show and who's going to have a great show. Like, the food is actually the bridge. It's actually the vehicle. She's abstaining from certain things. She is following a certain plan. She's using high energy foods. You can get away with eating certain things. Like, I'm not telling you don't eat a French fry. I eat french fries a lot. But that's because in the moment that I'm eating the french fry, the version of myself that I would like to become might just be me being happy and satisfied, right? When I want to get down to business and use my food as my manifestation tool, it's kind of easy. But the hard part is actually being intentional. It's actually doing it. It's hard to stick to a certain way of eating. And using food to heal my skin was really a revelation from God. Because what else was I gonna do? The thing that's making people the most sick is the food. The thing that can heal your sickness is the food. Right? This is something that we pretend not to know because we want to eat whatever we want to eat. But when you stop pretending and comprehending that, when you stop pretending and start comprehending that food is the manifestation tool, that is why it is weaponized. That is why there are fast food chains that are using food to actually decrease your energy, to take away from you, to make you a better cog for the machine, to make you more susceptible to illness so that you can have some health care that is pricey, and then you can go to the hospital because you're going to get sick anyway if you're eating crazy, if you're eating processed food, boxed foods. I went into Aldi. I believe that's the grocery store I went into. The lack of fresh food in there was sad. There's so much boxed food. There's so much food that is not real. And I felt like I stepped into an alternate universe in there. I love, honestly, when I feel like I step into an alternate universe. But that alternate universe was like, this is not food. This is all in boxes. This is all fake. Like, the food we eat should be fresh, should be coming out of the ground. And it should be, if it's meat, it should be treated well. It should be eating good things so that when we kill it and eat it, there's already good inside of the meat so that we can have some good too. And all these things matter when you break it down because we are spiritual. It's all connected. And when you start seeing food as the manifestation tool that it is, it's going to change your relationship with it completely, and you can start to use it for a lot of things that you desire, especially when it comes to physical. For women and even for men nowadays, because there's a lot of queens, and you know what, I appreciate the men who do take care of themselves and take care of their appearance. So I'm gonna say y'all aren't queens, y'all are kings. Food, when it comes to beauty, is super key. If you remember, or if you know the story in the Bible of, I forget their names, but they were in the king. They were in the king's place or palace. I don't quote me on this story. It's kind of fuzzy in my mind. There was 3 of them, 3 guys, and they were in the king's place or palace, and they could either eat the king's meat and wine, or they could eat some vegetables and abstain from eating the meat and wine. Now, there's different reasons people say that these 3 men decided to abstain from that. But either way, the food that they decided to eat made them more strong, made them more beautiful. Their appearance was more beautiful because of what they decided to eat. What decisions are you making about what you put into your body? Because if you're eating a lot of fake things, a lot of processed things, that's not going to be good for you. I truly do feel that physical beauty can be a huge sign of your health, and your health is a good sign of your connection to God and your connection to righteousness. And I use the Bible a lot because I'm reading the whole Bible this year. So a lot of biblical text is up here in my mind. And I am a Christian. So when Jesus was healing people, right? There's many instances where it talks about him healing people from being sick and also demons coming out of those people. So if he's making the connection that there's demons in the sick people, not all the sick people had demons, but in a lot of them, many of them, demons are coming out. That can tell you that sickness is related to demons, and demons are evil, right? So that sickness, that illness that you might have is evil. You might not be evil. However, there is something attached to you that is. You have an attachment on you of something that is evil, that is draining you of your energy and making you sick. We can't see that though. Like, that's just going on in the spiritual realm that we cannot see. So what we do see is the sickness. We see our skin. We see the rash on our skin. We see our hair falling out. We feel pain. Very real things that are going on inside the body. But it's something attached to you. It might even be something in your body, like parasites and things like that, that you can use food to get rid of. You can use herbs. Herbs are food too. They're plants that we can eat or make into a tea and drink. This is some raspberry leaf tea. And I look back at that video of me talking about that food tip, shop at the farmer's market and shop organic, and it's so real to me how far I've come, how faith will take you so far. And a lot of the time, the works that are in addition to the faith are connected to what you eat. It has to be. Because food is the energy that we use. Like, we're not plants. We can't survive off sun and water and air. That's plants. Some people think that we can. Show me that person. Show me who's doing that, who's not eating, who's just surviving off sun and air and plants for their whole life, then okay. I believe maybe once upon a time, but not in 2026 in America 2026, or honestly anywhere. I'm not gonna say anywhere because anything is possible, but I'm gonna say America 2026. It's gonna be hard for you to survive off of air and sunlight. Now, we do need sunlight, but we need food. We need air too, but we need some physical food to eat. What decisions are you making? Because the decision about what you eat can make the difference in however many years, months, time between who you are now and who you desire to be. For me, it was the decisions that I was making 2 years ago about what I was eating are what has bridged me here to where I am now. bridge me into this person who has glowy, clear skin. I still have some scars. I still get a pimple here and there. That's natural. I'm not using anything. I'm not on birth control. I'm not using retinol, any tretinoin, nothing like that. I embrace whatever my skin shows me. And then I use food to course correct if needed. That was the decision that I had to make. What was I going to eat? And there's an accumulation of events that occurred, but to get me to start learning about what I should put into my body. And I do encourage you to start knowing what it is that your body likes. That's another thing when it comes to food, is that it's our energy source, right? So it's very specific to us. Not everything is going to give everyone the same energy. Somebody might eat 3 eggs and feel amazing. Another person might eat 3 eggs and feel nauseous. They might have a food sensitivity to eggs. But eggs are so normalized in our culture as like a energy source type of food that they might think that I should be eating eggs. You got to learn your body. You got to learn what it is that you should be eating. And it takes time. It takes intention and a deeper connection with yourself and your body. And I have successfully built that deeper connection with my body, and it's an ongoing thing. I started eating eggs again. I was vegan for a while. I have videos when I was vegan, and a lot of the recipes that I create and will continue to create will be vegan because I don't do dairy. But I did start eating eggs again. And I did start eating chicken. I had a piece of an oxtail. And the reason that I am eating, what would you call that? Meat, animal protein again, is because I am learning my body. My body was communicating that it was time for me to start reincorporating certain things. I had cravings. And it wasn't even like a craving, like, oh, I need this. It was just like, I wonder what would happen if I ate this chicken. This fried chicken, it smells good. And I'm very specific with what I put in my body. I understand this system. As we were talking about before, the health insurance leads to you going to the doctor. It leads to these large corporations making more money. If you look up the top, how would you call it? The top businesses, the top companies, the top revenue generating sectors of America, up there is hospitals and real estate. Like, the fact that hospitals are up there is just showing you how much people are going to the hospital. The country is making money. I know people say they a lot, and it's like, who's they? The country, America, is making so much money off of people going to the hospital because the food is no bueno. The food is muy mal. We need to do better. We have to see through that. There's options. There's options outside of these horrible things like fast food that's giving you disease. Like, ladies, it can be messing up your reproductive system, and on top of that, with things being pushed on to women like birth control and things like that, it's really messing up our systems and making people sick. And we have to be more intentional about what we put into our bodies, how we trust these systems. The medical system is great for emergencies, but for getting rid of disease kind of over like a longer period of time type of thing, those medications are not what's going to be serving you. It's going to be the food that you get to decide to eat. You get to decide that for the most part. I understand there are some people who are unfortunate in that they can't really decide, or they might need food that doesn't cost much. Lentils, some of the highest protein, highest nutrient dense foods are, you could get a bag of lentils for $2 or less. I don't even know. It doesn't cost that much. Then you add some rice. You have a complete protein meal with iron, with copper, with so many things, and you can eat that. And I know it's like, I don't want to be eating lentils and rice every day. Beggars cannot be choosers. If you're a beggar in that situation, you gotta eat what you gotta eat. A lot of people have been there. I myself have been in a place where I was not able to get certain things that I wanted to eat, but I made it work. God knows that you have need of certain things, and He's gonna provide. So America is making money off of people being sick. We need to see the connection between that and food, the food that is being pushed, and decide what to do. So the way that I started eating eggs and meat again is that I have been getting them directly from the farmer's market. I have not eaten any eggs or meat that I got from the grocery store. I'm not doing that. At this point in time, my body's not there yet. As I'm reintroducing these things, I'm being very careful, very intentional, being very smart about where it's sourced, looking at the farmer who's bringing it from their farm, from their home to the market to sell. I can look at them. I can see how they look. Do they look healthy? I'm looking at the farmers and I'm thinking, does this person look healthy? Do I want to buy meat off of this person? Because they're eating a lot of their food too. They're eating a lot of what they grow and kill on their farm. So the way that they look is an indication of health. And that's something that we have to accept as well. Beauty and the way that you look is connected to health. That's just the way that life is. When a plant doesn't look good, it's not healthy. Okay, when a plant looks beautiful and vibrant, the leaves are green and glossy, it is healthy. Beauty is an indicator of health. Beauty helps calm our nervous systems. Beauty is power. Beauty is energy. And that's connected to health. And for us humans, luckily for us, it's connected to food. Use food as the manifestation tool that it is. Begin to think of what you put into your body as actual energy. You cannot mindlessly just eat something. Snap out of that state of being and take control. Taking control of what you eat is such a powerful move in life when you are being fed all these different things in different areas that you can't necessarily control. You can control that. You can control, like, I'm not going to eat these Oreos. I'm not going to drink that soda. I am going to drink this herbal tea. I am going to make myself some cookies with almond flour, spelt flour, and maple syrup. You don't have to give up your sweet treats. You don't have to give up your salty treats. You just have to turn them into something that's actually healthy and going to be benefiting your body. Convenience can be an enemy. It's convenient to buy a bag of potato chips from the store. It's convenient to buy a box of mashed potatoes and add water. Well, that convenience is coming at a price. And that price is your health. That price is your beauty. That price is the person that you desire to be. Snap out of it. use food as the tool that it is. And my skin is just one example of how I use food to heal my skin and use it as a manifestation tool. I'll see you in the next one. Stay golden.